Welcome to Explain the Charts, your go-to source for in-depth market analysis. Today, September 12th, 2025, we're taking a deep dive into Amazon, symbol Amazon, to dissect both the latest news and its corresponding chart data. The broader market has been incredibly dynamic, with the Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq all hitting fresh records recently, signaling robust investor confidence despite mixed economic signals. Specifically for Amazon, the headlines are a mix of strong positives and some cautionary notes. On the bullish side, Amazon's cloud computing arm, AWS, continues to show impressive 17.5% year-over-year revenue growth, fueled by the booming AI sector. A significant recent boost came from a new partnership for Project Kuiper with JetBlue, promising in-flight Wi-Fi by 2027, alongside favorable news regarding its investment in AI startup Anthropic, which recently secured funding boosting its valuation to an impressive $183 billion. Analysts are overwhelmingly bullish, with strong buy ratings and average 12-month price targets ranging from $261 to $262, with some optimistic projections reaching as high as $350, citing Amazon's AI leadership and easing global tariffs. These positive developments certainly provide a strong fundamental tailwind for the stock. However, it's not all smooth sailing. Regulatory scrutiny from the FTC regarding advertising practices and macroeconomic risks like potential tariffs and elevated valuations in the broader tech sector, especially for the Magnificent Seven stocks, present notable headwinds. We also saw a 1.9% drop recently due to broader market retreat, profit-taking, and concerns over the legality of some tariffs. Now, let's turn our attention to the charts to see how these events have translated into price action on the daily time frame. Looking at the daily chart from early 2024 through today, we can clearly observe a general bullish trend for Amazon, but punctuated by significant volatility. A key event that stands out is a dramatic plunge from the $234 level on July 31, 2025, opening significantly lower at $217 on August 1st, reflecting a substantial post-earnings reaction of over 7% in after-hours trading, consistent with news of management's weaker profit expectations despite strong Q2 2025 earnings. Another notable reversal occurred in early April 2025, where the stock dropped sharply from around $196 to its 52-week low of $161.38. This could be attributed to a confluence of general market weakness, renewed tariff concerns, and rising Treasury yields mentioned in our news review. However, the subsequent strong rebound from these lows demonstrated significant buyer interest and overall market resilience, aligning with the broader tech sector's positive outlook driven by AI. The 52-week low of $161.38 now acts as a critical long-term support level, a price point that has held firm and initiated strong recoveries. Moving upwards, we see strong support building around the $220 to $222 region, which has been tested and held multiple times during pullbacks in July and August 2025. On the resistance side, the 52-week high of $242.52 remains a formidable barrier, along with psychological resistance levels around $230 and $238. Which are areas where price has struggled to break higher in the past. Today's Google Finance quote places Amazon around $229.02, slightly below yesterday's close of $229.95, indicating a cautious start to the day for the current daily candle. The hourly chart, though providing data up to early September 4th, shows a period of consolidation and slight upward movement around the $225 to $229 range during that time, reflecting some of the positive business developments unfolding. Now let's zoom into the 15-minute chart to examine the very recent price action from September 8th to September 11th. On September 8th, the stock saw an intraday rally from the low $234s to reach a high of $237.68 before slowly drifting lower. September 9th showed some volatility, ultimately peaking around $238.85 before a sharp drop late in the trading session, reflecting potential profit-taking or short-term bearish sentiment. Then, on September 10th, we observed a significant intraday bearish move, with price falling rapidly from $237.25 down to $231.38 within a 30-minute span. A sharp correction possibly influenced by the broader market downturns and tariff concerns we discussed earlier. The market then attempted to consolidate and recover on September 11th, but ultimately closed around $229.95, indicating that the bearish pressure from the previous day carried over. In the short term, Amazon appears to be navigating a period of uncertainty, currently sitting just below the $230 pivot point. A break above this level with conviction, supported by strong volume and positive news, could signal a retest of the $238 to $242.52 resistance zone, potentially leading to new 52-week highs. The bullish case is heavily supported by its strong position in AI and cloud services, AWS, along with enthusiastic analyst price targets of up to $350, which suggest considerable long-term upside if these initiatives deliver. Conversely, if Amazon fails to hold above the $220 to $222 support area, particularly on increased selling volume, we could see a retreat towards the $200 psychological level, or even retest the stronger long-term support at $161.38. The bearish outlook is reinforced by lingering macroeconomic risks, potential regulatory crackdowns from the FTC, and a general market pullback, especially if inflation data or future job reports come in weaker than expected, reigniting stagflation concerns. For traders, looking for confirmation of moves with volume is crucial, especially around these key levels. A strong bullish candle closing above $230 on the daily chart would be a favorable sign for further upside, possibly towards the $238 resistance. Conversely, a sustained break and close below $220 would warrant caution, signaling a potential move towards $200 and further downside. In the long term, Amazon's strategic investments in AI and its expanding ecosystem, including Project Kuiper, position it well for growth, but investors should remain mindful of market sentiment and regulatory landscape. To recap, important price levels to watch for Amazon are the immediate pivot around $230, resistance at the 52-week high of $242.52, and strong support at $220 to $222, with the ultimate long-term support at $161.38. We rate a sustained push above $230 as moderately likely in the short term, given the current positive news flow and overall tech sector strength, with a retest of $242.52 becoming more likely if momentum builds and volume increases. A significant break below $220 is less likely in the immediate future unless there's a major negative catalyst or broad market sell-off, but it's a critical level to monitor for any bearish reversal. Keep an eye on upcoming economic data, further news on the FTC probe, and any updates regarding Amazon's AI strategy or Project Kuiper's development, as these will be key in reinforcing or challenging the current price trajectory. Always remember to do your own research and manage your risk effectively.